I was 6 months pregnant when I found out that Nikolai had Down syndrome, and it was not the result or information that you're expecting. It becomes a very different journey. When I had Nikolai and he was in my arms, he was a beautiful wee baby, and you feel very empowered in that you're going to do the best for your baby. But public resources really aren't there to encourage you. You want people to say, your child can do this, let's open the ceiling.
Annabelle was 2 1/4 when she first started seeing Sarah, which seems pretty young, but it's obviously worked, and it's worked well. In fact, to be honest, I thought it'd be too young. I thought, well, what can you do at that age? But she's done a lot, and it's worked well. Probably the main thing is that we've started to notice how much Annabelle actually knows, because you don't know when Annabelle's not telling you, and it's probably stopped a lot of frustration that would otherwise be the case, and it's been really enjoyable for us, being able to communicate with her better.
Well, Leroy's has progressed, and I think if he had had no intervention, it would have gone a lot slower. So children with Down syndrome definitely need a big push to get moving. I mean, not just physically, but in all ways. So without that early intervention, he would be much further behind, definitely.
When he was 9 months old, and I'll still remember it, I was sitting on the couch and she said to me that when he started school, she wanted him reading at a reading level. And I remember my jaw dropping and thinking, reading? Really? And she was the first person that ever came in that really made me feel that anything was possible and opportunity was everything for education for Nikolai. But then to see a child look at a ball and then you hold 2 picture cards and say take ball and recognise the card, it was just, that's when you know that your child has the ability to learn. And I think that was a real key to know that Nikolai could learn, same as other children. And just having someone come in and say that your child can do things.
Oliver has been a child also with some other interesting factors that have made it difficult for him to learn, and those again have been sensory issues. So he was a challenging child for me to work with, and a really interesting child. I think what's important is that all the children you work with always teach you something new.
Our initial session, Sarah used to come and he used to just cry for most of the session, but now, as you can see, he'll go through with Sarah. He's happy with Sarah, he's comfortable with Sarah, and he can read, count to 10.
But interestingly enough, in the last 18 months, he started to try to talk and make sounds, which is very, very exciting. I think a lot of that has come about from the reading we've been doing, which we know is a strength for children with Down syndrome. He clearly is reading words and clearly understands things. He has a lot of difficulty, again, with fine motor control and executing handwriting. But for children like Oliver, thankfully, in this wonderful IT age we're in, there's going to be lots of assistive technology to assist him and help promote his language development in the classroom.
When you sit here and sometimes you think you don't see much going on. How much is happening? It's a few words, and it's but bit by bit you don't really recognise what's going on. But as you see it over time, and you see Annabelle sort of come out of herself and pick up some skills.
A child like Annabelle has a very large receptive language, which means she understands a lot. She was managing to follow what we call a 3-part verbal direction really well, which is very, very big for a child that's about to start school. She's 4 going on 5. So within the work that I do with the children, we start basic movement strokes very early in life, because it's going to take a long time to train the brain to remember, how do I do a straight line, or how do I go across. But she's actually doing very, very well with recognising basic words. So she'll arrive at school with probably between 70 to 100 words that she can read and know what they mean.
When he was 4, he was starting to know his alphabet and read words. So that's a really good thing to hold on to when he's 15 months old and he's throwing everything on the floor during his therapy sessions.
But it's been very challenging for the family because they would have got less feedback from Leroy through the years. But I think one of the interesting things, and this is very typical of children with Down syndrome, is that whilst they may not give you anything back, they're actually learning and absorbing a lot of information, and it eventually does come out. He's actually using really good sentences now, reading, just absolutely doing amazing actually.
When he was 4, there was a big change. He became much more motivated, and we could see that he knew his colours, and he could categorise things because he wanted to do it by then, and he could learn to read words really quickly. And then it wasn't just one word, it was more than one, and he just really thrived on showing how clever he was. He was able to really get excited about doing his program. So it was a real change from just hard going and hard work to suddenly this child who was pouring out all this information he'd been learning for those 3.5 years.
Just being able to communicate with his siblings and to me. I mean, he could read before he got to school, and he could count before he got to school. So that just, in my mind, that set him up for being able to just have the opportunity to go to mainstream school.
The current education system is really challenging for children with Down syndrome, and that's from a preschool level right through, because it's actually based on children learning auditorily. So children with Down syndrome have a weakness in audition, which doesn't mean that they can't hear things. They do hear things. It's just that their brain doesn't manage to process the information as well.
To me, we will be always very grateful, and we're quite humbled by the fact that there is a trust that can help our child to gain an education that is his right, but it's not there. Without the trust, we wouldn't have that. So yeah, the trust is our lifeline.
Given the extra input and some financial assistance that the trust can provide so that families can access the right input, these children will largely grow on to lead a really independent life, and that's what we'd all want for them.
We probably couldn't have done it otherwise. We might not have even known it was there otherwise. So it empowers us to do more for Annabelle, you know.
It's amazing to see him with his speech now and being able to communicate, watch him read. It just, to take the frustration away from a child that can understand, because I think that's often a misconception. Your child will understand a lot, but the speech is slower to come. And to see Nikolai being able to use words and understand what he's using is amazing. It's just opens, the sky's the limit for him, really is. He's gonna fly.
When I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change, 'cause you're amazing, just the way you are. And when you smile, the whole world stops and stares for a while, 'cause girl, you're amazing, just the way you are, the way you are, the way you are. Girl, you're amazing, just the way you are. When I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change, 'cause you're amazing, just the way you are. And when you smile, the whole world stops and stares for a while, 'cause girl, you're amazing,